What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the fourth album, Misadventures, by post-hardcore band Pierce the Veil. I was super excited for this one considering how much I loved 2012's Collide with the Sky. Before we get into today's review, I wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Rabbit. Rabbit's an app that's all about bringing people together who aren't necessarily able to be together, whether it be like you're in a long-distance relationship or you have friends that are either overseas or across the country. Whatever the scenario may be, you want to still watch Netflix, maybe Hulu, watch a couple of videos on YouTube, or kick back and jam to some music on Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen on, really. It's something that allows you, with up to 25 friends at a time, to chat either by video or voice or just text and watch and listen to things in sync. At the same time, no more guessing that, oh, I'm at the 28-second mark on this new episode of this show and he's at the 2-minute mark. I need to wait until they catch up. No, you get together on the app and watch things or listen to things in sync. I actually tried out Rabbit by watching a few episodes of some of my favorite shows and listening to some of the new Pierce the Veil album, and it was actually really cool, the fact that it was actually in sync. We were hearing and seeing things at the same time. So if you're curious, download it at the link in the description down below. It's not just that though, I'm also running a contest that goes along with this. I'm going to be selecting 3 people who download the app, comment their usernames in the comment section down below, and we will listen to some music, watch some videos together, whatever it is that you guys want me to hear or whatever it may be. Download the app, comment your username, and I will pick 3 of you guys. I'll be selecting within the next week, so make sure you have your notifications turned on. I'm going to be replying to you in this comment thread. The link to grab the app is in the description down below. Other than that, let's get on to Misadventures. It sure is nice to have my hands on a new Pierce the Veil record. It's been quite a long time coming. It's been a few years since we got their last record, which I thought was really, really great, to be quite honest. It took me a while to get into Pierce the Veil, but once I did, it really just clicked. I thought Collide with the Sky, just a fantastic release, and in fact one of my favorite post-hardcore records of all time. It just had a nice flowing story all throughout, and I'm glad that they closed that story arc out with Texas is Forever on this new record. It seemed like it could have gotten stale if they continued doing that for future albums, considering that's been a part of the band's career for a while now. I like that they kind of tackle things with a different vigor and a different approach. Some of these songs really do feel like they stray from the path a little bit, and I like Floral and Fading so much just because of that. That's one track I feel like is a prime example of what Pierce the Veil wanted to do with this record. You can tell that they added in a few extra elements here and there. There's a few synthesizers on tracks like Circles. You notice that opens the track up before those hard guitars kick in, and I thought that was a great element. Near the end of this record, they work in some great 80s elements on a track that I just never really would have seen coming. It's a song near the end of this thing called Gold Medal Ribbon. It's one of those tracks that pulls off being kind of that post-hardcore song, but then having like a post-chorus that works in this weird synth thing that's almost very danceable in an odd way, and you're thinking, Pierce the Veil putting out something like this, it doesn't really work for them. But at the same time, the more you listen to it, the more it really starts to hit home. Obviously, Pierce the Veil are known for being this hard-hitting band full of screams, hard-hitting guitars, great bass work, and furious drumming, and that does not disappoint. Right off the bat, we see Dive In, the first track on this thing. Just such an incredible guitar performance that we get on this track. I think it's one of the most standout moments here, to be quite honest, and it lured me in instantly. My first handful of listens through Misadventures, I saw myself thinking the first half of this record is just a lot stronger than that back half, and while I don't necessarily disagree with myself still, I have warmed up to a lot of songs there. My problem is just the fact that some of these tracks just don't feel like they break the status quo. They talk about wanting to set the bar very high for themselves, and often they do all throughout this record. There's just some moments towards the end, like song For Isabelle, which just captures the spirit of Pierce the Veil, I feel like, but doesn't add anything new. It sees them tackling similar storylines, similar themes, the breakdown in the track, and even some of the screams. It just feels like they were churning something out to close out the album, and not something as great as what they captured with Collide with the Sky. Stellar guitar performances line this record, and that's something that I've always loved and appreciated about Pierce the Veil. They definitely don't shy away from that here. Today I Saw the Whole World is one of those tracks that has those invigorating riffs that pump life into the chorus, as Vic Fuentes, the lead singer of this band, sings, "While you were standing above me, I was biting the curb, sick entertainment, but I bet it feels good." It just makes those words really come to life and pop. Love the outro on this track as well, whenever it just kind of breaks down to that riff, and I love that they don't just rely on breakdowns. They've never been a band that does that, although they do have some spectacular ones, especially on moments like King for a Day. Holy shit. Instead of the breakdown just being the highlight of the track or something like that, I think they use these intricate guitar lines to actually back and shape their songs and mold them into something so much more. I appreciate that about Pierce the Veil. I mean, right off the bat, I was hooked with Dive In because of that guitar work. It does have a stellar breakdown on it. I love that aspect of the song, but it's not just that. It's the full instrumental and every band member firing on all full cylinders. Phantom Power and Ludicrous Speed is another one that just thrashes, really caught my ear right off the bat. I love the kind of throwback sound I'm getting from that. I feel like it's something from the mid-2000s almost. And they lifted that inspiration there, took it, made it their own, and just crafted this awesome track. I love that one. If you don't get into the speedy guitar line there and you're a Pierce the Veil fan, you might be doing something wrong. I want to talk about the final 4 tracks on this record real quick as kind of a section of this album that I didn't necessarily click with. It wasn't really hitting me right at first, but I do want to say that it's gained a lot of momentum and a lot of respect for me with some of these tracks. Gold Medal Ribbon is the first of those, and I mentioned this one already earlier, throwing in those kind of 80s styling, something that I, like I said, never would have expected for it to work, but they totally pulled it off in a very odd way. It's one of those songs that hit me at first, and I was like, what are all these synths doing in the middle of Pierce the Veil's songs? I know they've made use of the electronics in places before, like maybe in the middle of a breakdown or something like that, but they really pull it off. I mean, Texas is Forever, you can see in the breakdown of that track, kind of the glitchy electronics, but this is more of just like a synth tone that's carrying some of the vibes of the song and pushing it forward. Unfortunately, the tracks that followed did blend together a little bit too much in my mind. I didn't see them jumping off of the page to me that much. There's definitely life there, it's just that you have to claw and dig for it a little bit more. Bedless, really enjoyed that one once I tore into the lyrics a little bit, and honestly, it's got a great guitar vibe kind of flowing all throughout. It's a little bit more chill, like the bass line on the track that follows right after that, Sambuka, I hope I'm pronouncing that one right. It's just kind of got this looming and eerie feel almost to it, even though it's a little bit more aggressive on the guitar side, some screamed vocals in there as well. Kind of like that bass line kind of shapes everything up, although I can't say that I'm that impressed by the lyrical content there, or even on the closing track that I already mentioned that I didn't really enjoy all that much. Song for Isabelle just feels a little bit too cliched, a little bit too Pierce the Veil, if that makes sense. They didn't really push themselves forward, and I don't enjoy that as much. All in all, this is another solid entry into Pierce the Veil's discography. I think it's a very enjoyable and entertaining listen. Maybe it doesn't strike with as much passion and vigor as Collide with the Sky, but I think it's gonna be another fan favorite. I could see people coming back to this for quite a while. Hopefully it doesn't take us this long to get another Pierce the Veil album. Me personally, I'm gonna go with a 4 for Misadventures. Thanks again to Rabbit for sponsoring this video. The top link in the description down below will take you over to the App Store. You can download it for yourself. Don't forget that I'm doing that contest where I pick 3 of you guys to hang out with me for a little bit. Maybe, you know, some Netflix and chill, Spotify and chill, whatever you guys want to do or are curious about. I will be picking the winners about a week from now. So make sure that you download the app and then comment your username down below along with your thoughts on the new Pierce the Veil record. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thanks for hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. Other than that, I'll see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.